Today, I'd like for us to explore the types of paragraphs. You might be able to purchase a hat from Border Market using a one-size-fits-all approach. But when it comes to writing good paragraphs, you will have to develop the ability to create different types of paragraphs for different types of writing. For that reason, this lesson is aimed at helping you to identify and write the 4 paragraph types. What should be clear by now is that ordinarily, paragraph types follow the 4 types of writing. As you may know, the 4 types of writing are descriptive, expository, persuasive, and narrative writing. An awareness of the ingredients or elements for these types of writing will strengthen your ability to produce the right paragraph type for the right situation and or right topic or subject. Let's begin with the descriptive paragraph. Descriptive writing is writing that captures sight, sound, smell, taste, and physical sensations. Through description, writers can transport readers to faraway places, enable them to vicariously experience sensations such as the warmth of the morning sun on the back of their necks as a character hurries across a crowded city street at rush hour. Usually, at this level, a descriptive paragraph is not used by itself, but rather as part of a piece of writing with a broader purpose. Maybe as part of a story or part of a persuasive essay. The challenge is to make it interesting with the use of imagery and sensory details, and with the use of comparative devices such as the simile and the metaphor. Let's read an example of a descriptive paragraph. Here we go. When I think of the hometown of my youth, all I seem to remember is dust, the brown, crumbly dust of late summer. Arid, sterile dust that gets into the eye and makes them water, gets into the throat and between the toes of bare brown feet. I don't know why I should remember only dust. And so, when I think of that time and that place, I remember only the dry September of the dirt roads and grassless yards of the shanty town where I lived. Was the writer's description familiar to you? Was he able to appeal to any of the 5 senses? Let's take a look at the expository paragraph. The expository paragraph mainly follows the basic structure of a paragraph. Do you remember the structure of a paragraph? It is made up of topic sentence, supporting sentences, and a closing sentence. This paragraph type is informative or explanatory. They inform or they explain. in a small way or incidentally. They can be used in narrative or descriptive writing. But this type of paragraph should be able to stand on its own. Maybe the main challenge of writing an expository paragraph is trusting your knowledge of the topic. The big question in this type of paragraph is, how do I know that you know what you are talking about? Can you tell me? How do I know that you know what you're talking about? The answer to this is in the evidence or facts you include in your writing. This paragraph type is largely built with proof. Let's read an example of an expository paragraph. Look for evidence as you go. Stress is defined as a state of extreme difficulty that causes mental or physical tension. In a recent study, teenagers were shown to experience stress as often as adults. According to the study, the most common causes of stress to teens include divorce of parents, death of a loved one, loneliness, moving to a new neighborhood, and having difficulty in a social environment. These stressors can greatly change the way teens act in many circumstances. Has this piece of writing accomplished the task of providing information on the subject? Most importantly, did the sources used boost your confidence in the writer's knowledge of his content? Was it adequate? Or would you have liked him to include more? Time for the persuasive paragraph. The persuasive paragraph is reserved for when you are attempting to convince someone to see your way, or when you want them to do something. Furthermore, the purpose of this type of writing is to call readers to action or to take a stand on an important issue. Opinion is not the only component of this type of writing. Adequate information, a breakdown, and the situations must also be given to the reader in order for them to make a decision. Read this example with me. Students are currently getting ripped off. Students who spend an average of 10 hours or more on extracurricular activities should receive some kind of academic credit. Most students who are involved in sports, music, journalism, or theater activities are actively learning on a daily basis. They attend practice and events and participate regularly as they would in class. Furthermore, their participation helps them to become more responsible and disciplined students. Students are putting forth the effort and not getting any recognition for their time. The purpose of this paragraph is to get readers to believe that academic credit should be given for extracurricular activities. Lastly, let's look at the narrative paragraph. Since narrative writing is creative writing, the strict rules of paragraph writing do not apply. The pattern of topic sentence, supporting sentences, and closing sentence is not very relevant. A narrative paragraph tells a story. It uses specific details. It is not a mere listing of events. It has characters, setting, where time and mood are established, conflict, and more. The focus is on the unfolding of events, usually in a chronological order. Here is an example of a narrative paragraph. Raghu welcomed the intrusion, something to relieve the loneliness of the place. The man stood gazing reverently on his face. Raghu was amused and embarrassed. "Sit down if you like," Raghu said, to break the spell. The other accepted the suggestion with a grateful nod and went down the river step to wash his feet and face. Came up, wiping himself dry with the end of a checkered yellow towel on his shoulder, and took his seat 2 steps below the granite slab on which Raghu was sitting, cross-legged as if it were a throne beside an ancient shrine. The branches of the trees canopying the river course rustled and trembled with the agitation of birds and monkeys settling down for the night. Upstream, beyond the hills, the sun was setting. Raghu waited for the other to say something, but he was too polite to open a conversation. The specific details in this paragraph are developing a character and moving a plot forward. The events are also broken down in a creative way, which makes it creative writing. Until we meet again, and if the means allow, rewatch, like, and share the video.